Well, okay. So there have been rumors for years that he was actively pursuing underage teenage girls.
Okay.
Usually during like shows when his band was performing. I guess he has a band with his brother. Um anyway, the rumors were largely confined to social media and like gossip, kind of like Harvey Weinstein was forever.
Yeah.
Until June 2025, when 9 women spoke to Airmail alleging a long running pattern of inappropriate behavior. And even then, he was still getting work. Like it did not affect his career negatively,
Yeah.
despite, which is kind of shocking considering, we're post Me Too,
Yeah.
that it didn't affect him at all. Yeah. So in July 2026, so like I think like 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, a BBC documentary expanded on those claims with 4 women alleging criminal sexual assault, including allegations involving minors. He has denied sexually assaulting anyone. He denies all of the allegations.
As I would expect.
Here's the thing. It's hard to pin down the pattern, and I tried to look this up because the timeline goes from the early 2000s, 2002 to now.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah. So that's when these teenagers were first saying that he did this, and he was still way too old at the time. I mean,
yeah. I mean, he's been an adult for a long time.
Right. Well, he was on My So-Called Life in what year was that?
96, maybe? I don't remember when that came out.
1997.
Yeah, maybe.
So, by 2002, he was definitely too old to be pursuing teenage girls.
Yeah.
But apparently, I mean, he denies it. He's never been charged with anything, ever. But Billy Bush, he's been talking about this. So I'm going to bring up Billy. Let me share my screen. Okay. Can you see that?
Yes.
Jared Leto is one of those guys you've known about for a long time, whisperings about for a long time, and yet nothing is actionable. He has been accused of criminal sexual misconduct by 4 women. The BBC has a documentary that's dropped called Jared Leto, Hollywood's Dark Secret. This is massive comeuppance for Jared Leto. His name has been around forever as a guy with shady connections to young women, young girls. Guys, this is crazy. So take a look at this trailer. We'll watch the trailer together, and then we'll get into it a little bit.
His band was having a concert. I was with another girl, and we were backstage. I was 17. He had sent an acquaintance of his, and he told me, Jared's seen you from wherever he is over there, and he was interested in getting your number.
Jared Leto was twice Clara's age when she says they started texting in the mid-2000s. The Oscar-winning actor, known for his roles in Dallas Buyers Club, The Suicide Squad, and more recently in Tron Ares, is facing serious sexual misconduct allegations in a new BBC documentary. We've spoken to 10 women, several of whom met Leto as teenagers through his band 30 Seconds to Mars. Clara was invited to an exclusive hotel and brought a friend.
He was at a table with friends, just having some general banter about things. We had drifted into the realm to talking about the age of consent. I had mentioned to him.
I actually thought Jared Leto was closer in age to us.
Mm-hmm.
He's 54.
Whoa.
Yeah.
He must have been like in his 20s when he was playing a teenager on My So-Called Life.
Yep.
And my dad was in law enforcement, that I knew with certainty that here in California, the age of consent is 18.
It is one story after the other that is just kind of disgusting. And when I say massive comeuppance, I mean, there's other people like this where you've heard forever that something is off, something's creepy, and then it bubbles up to the surface, and then it kind of drifts away. And then it comes back maybe a year later, and then it drifts away. And then something triggers it so that it sticks, it blows up, and something happens. Long ago, back in 2012, there was this girl in Hollywood, DJ Ali Teals, and she posted something in 2012 alleging assault at 17. And she put this innocuous line, "You're not really in LA until Jared Leto tries to force himself on you backstage at an M83 show in a kilt, in a snow hat." And what it did was open a deluge of girls, young women speaking out.
I'm like really offended. Not that he did that. I mean, that's offensive enough, but
Yeah.
that he was wearing that ridiculous costume.
Yeah, I mean,
And, calling him creepy, calling him a predator, all these kinds of things. And these stories came out. And I think that's when it all began. And then there was a big expose in Airmail last June of 2025. You would think after that, I don't know why the audio visual experience is, gets more of a reaction, but this was a big report and lots of women came out, just like now in this documentary that BBC is dropping, Hollywood's Dark Secret. 9 women sharing stories publicly for the first time, 4 of them describing conduct that can be framed as, or is framed as, criminal sexual conduct. All say that the encounters occurred between 2002 and 2016 when they were teenagers, and Jared Leto was in his 30s and 40s. The 4 core allegations: alleged statutory grape. At 17 years old, a woman says she had sex with Leto. He was 34 at the time, at his California house. She was 17. The age of consent, of course, is 18. She claims he shrugged off a conversation about her age, telling her, look, I want you to, call me daddy, and I want you to pretend to be my little girl. Clara is a woman who speaks. She's 17 years old at the time, says she was approached by a random guy and the guy said, look, Jared Leto is really interested in meeting you. Come meet us at the Chateau Marmont, which is, a swanky sort of Hollywood spot on Sunset Boulevard. She went, she met him at the Chateau. They waved her over to the table when she arrived. Conversation that night came around to age of consent. She said, my dad's in law enforcement. He shrugged it off. He knew her age at the time. She went to his house with her friend. He said, bring your friend. And then when he got there, they were both sitting on his bed. And he suggested to the friend, go sit in the computer room while Clara and I hang out. So the other girl leaves. He said, look, he went down the hall and he's like, when I come back, I want us both to be naked. And then she was, and he said, there's my brave little girl. Look, 17-year-olds get in trouble, attracted to danger. I know I was when I was 17. It is incumbent upon a 30-year-old man, 35-year-old man to know boundaries and not take advantage of someone who appears to be, as adventurous as someone who's older. There is no excuse. Then there's this girl who alleged assault by Jared Leto in a motel bathroom. She was 17 years old in 2002, working in Las Vegas, named Isabel. She participates in the doc. You see her on camera. She met him in a Vegas mall where she was working. He invited her to his hotel and then said we would go out after that. She arrived. It was like a dingy, gross kind of motel. Someone with Jared Leto's wealth would be able to stay at the Wynn or something nice. He was in a dingy, totally, clearly, it seems to me, set up for her arrival. She comes and he says, I got to take a quick shower before we go out. He goes into the shower, calls her in while she's in there, starts to kiss her, grabs her hand, puts it on his, private parts and makes her take care of him in that way. She thought they were going out. They never went out. That was it. It was time to leave. He leaned outside the motel door. He looked both ways, left and right, to see if anyone was around, and then sort of released her. Jesus. So at 19, there's another girl who says she was 19. She was a former model, attended an after party. He was about 41 years old. She says she told him she was 17, even though she was 19. She said 17 to try to get him off the trail, get her off the hunt. And he replied that age doesn't matter. We're in Europe. When she asked to sleep on a chaise lounge, she alleges that he said that she'd wake up and something would have happened. Then there's all this alleged grooming via phone calls. This is a really this girl, Etta, alleges that Jared made repeated sexually explicit calls to her, at least once, suggesting that they have relations. Etta. It was 2014. He approached her outside of a modeling agency, invited her to an Oscar party. He said, text me. She told him she was 16 years old. And then the phone calls came from a private number. His number was not on there. The conversation started like, hey, did you get that modeling job? And you deserved it and all that. And then it turned to sex. He asked her, do you have any kinks, allegedly? He asked her, are you a virgin? And then he asked her, and I'm sorry to have to say this, can you squirt? This is a 16-year-old girl. She alleges that he knew she was 16. His lawyers then sent an NDA to her, and the journalist says to many others, NDAs were sent, stating, quote, that a confidential relationship exists between you and me. There's a lot of stuff in this doc. A woman named Taylor, says Leto, then performing with 30 Seconds to Mars, signed her T-shirt across her chest at a 2005 festival when she was 14 years old. He made a comment about her body, had a bodyguard bring her backstage without asking, repeated the comment when her mother found her. He repeated it to the mother. There are 4 other women who say they got strange sexual phone calls from him when they were younger. The BBC says it has corroborated several accounts through friends and family who were told at the time, and in some cases reviewed photos and messages from Jared. BBC reported that Jared did not respond despite repeated attempts to reach him. I can tell you on a personal note, I have a friend whose daughter, and I know this girl.
You know, these guys always say I didn't do it, except that one comedian guy. He's like, yeah, I did it. I was gross.
Louis
What's that
C.K.?
guy's name? Yeah, Louis C.K. admitted all the stuff he did, but everybody else just denies it.
I don't think he did anything with underage kids. So.
No, I just mean being gross in general. He was
he's
just
one
like,
of the few.
He's like, yeah, I did the stuff that they said I did, and I was gross.
Yeah. Yeah, this is really gross. So.
Very well.
We don't have to keep watching it because it's just more and more of this. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's a people in a position of authority shouldn't be able to prey on underage girls. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, that's usually who does.
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Dude, that's gross.
Gross, Jared Leto. Don't go watch He-Man.
He hasn't been charged with anything.
Yeah,
I just want to keep pointing that out. It hasn't been charged, so I guess that it hasn't been proven.
Yes, these are all allegations, but they're a lot of them, and they're gross if they're true.
I bet a lot of women have saved text messages from him. So
They probably have receipts, yeah.
we'll see what comes out. Anyway, what do you want to do